What's happening out there, Gym Land? Crushing it today. Beautiful day, hot as hell. It's already almost 90, and sun's out, guns out. I gotta rip the sleeves blew off my shirt when I stepped outside. You know how it goes. So I want to talk a little bit. I'm leaving for vacation with my family tonight, and I'm heading down to see some friends in Orlando. And we're gonna go see, we're gonna go to Disney a little bit. We're gonna go do some fun stuff, see some theme parks, and kind of, on a 4th of July week. And I'm sure it's gonna be super packed, right? But I'm leaving the gym set up today, and I got a bunch of clients that I'm working with, and some programs that I'm doing and things like that. And we're setting up a campaign for a 6-week transformation type of product in a couple weeks. That'll be coming out next week, actually. And I was just looking back at a bunch of old pictures and seeing pictures from some of the first clients I've trained, and all the way through to to now. And I wish they had cell phones with with cameras built into them back in the mid to late 90s. And that didn't exist. You had to have a camera, right? So I don't have a huge picture roll of a lot of training stuff from when I was a kid. It would have been nice to have some of my training. Like, me and my buddy Tom used to work out when we were 16. We used to have the gorilla wear shirts, the belts, the gloves. I know I wore gloves. It's now I shun people from the gym that wear gloves, right? I would bust their chops. I'm like, oh, you want me to get you some pink gloves with that, right? And so I just thinking, at the end of the day, I got into this business because the gym was a very big part of my life. Fitness was a part of my life, and an escape from my unfortunately turmoiled home life. You know what I mean? I had a pretty tough home life. My father was not the greatest guy in the world, and was often screaming, yelling, and flipping out. And so I would go, I played sports. I went to martial arts my whole life. I was big into martial arts. And I would go every day because that was 2 to 3 hours away from the house. And then, I was lucky enough that, we lived in a little tiny kind of log cabin on a lake, right? So my mom still lives there. It's a tiny little 1,400 or 50, square foot house, old log cabin on a lake. So I would just sit out in the lake and fish all day, and so it was and swim, and the lakes back in those times, the lakes themselves used to have swim teams, right? And I would swim all day, and we'd compete, and we have swim races and things like that. And so I would be out of the house nearly the entire day. And then once I found, weightlifting, I don't know, I just gravitated towards it. It was something to do. So it was fun. And I started watching I started reading, watching Pump and Iron, and watching old movies and things like that. And so the gym became my escape from, maybe the pain that I was experiencing at home, with, my family and things like that. So I had a bunch of great people. I joined a gym, Bulldog Gym, in Pequannock, New Jersey. So if there's anybody from around that area that remembers, a guy named Jeff and his dad and his brother Brian ran this gym. And for everything it wasn't, what it was a great kind of coming of age place. A bunch of meatheads from Jersey in a barbell club lifting weights. And 2 16-year-old kids roll in there, wanting to get jacked, when we were kids. And they kind of took us under their wing, and they made us, and we learned a lot from the guys in that gym, and trained hard, and pushed ourselves to another limit that we didn't even know existed. Me and Tommy would be in that gym for 3-4 hours sometimes. It was our hangout. We'd go there after school, and we'd be there till 6 p.m. And we had nothing else to do when we weren't playing football. So it was the gym, right? So that became the thing. And I look back and I think about the impact that some of the people in the gyms that I've been through and the mentors that I've had in fitness, and I don't know, for whatever reason, I gravitated towards that. I gravitated towards teaching, and I gravitated towards, coaching, and I gravitated towards strength and conditioning and fitness and lifestyle and wellness and nutrition and things like that. Those things interested me, right? I was always interested in the human body, and I was always interested in the, and the, let's call it the physical and emotional change that could come from changing your lifestyle habits, nutritional habits, training, things like that. The confidence that it gave me was really the biggest thing. I remember the first time I was, let's call it, respected as a person was, a freshman year of high school. I'd come in, I'd already been training and lifting weights in my buddy's basement for 2 years at that point, right? Like pretty religiously. And I remember being able to bench press 135 for reps, easily, multiple reps, right? And people are like, whoa, and then, hit 225 my freshman year of high school, and I don't know, maybe 350 or something by the time I was a senior, which is really strong for a high school kid, right? So I was really dedicated. I probably still can. I'm probably still benching the same now, right? If that, I don't even know if I can bench 350 anymore. And, so the reality is that I had a lot of positive influences that came out of the fitness world, whether it was the gym, people I've looked up to like Mike Boyle, people I looked up to, like Louis Simmons and stuff like that, and been lucky enough to go out the West Side, been lucky enough to interact with Mike Boyle and the late Charles Poliquin and stuff like that. Going up to the Poliquin Institute when I was a kid was the most unbelievable thing in the world. Paul Chek was a huge influence of mine when I was younger, right? And a lot of these guys, right, that are still big names in the industry, right? And I went and sought them out, and would go to a conference or would go to their facility and stuff like that when I was a kid. And there was no cell phones, no nothing, right? And I just think about the fitness industry, for the most part, gets a bad rap because there's a lot of D-bag, trainers out there who are very closed-minded and such. But anybody who's good is an open book. Anybody who, anytime I've ever emailed Eric Cressy, he emails me right back. Anytime I've ever asked any questions to any high level, Alan Cosgrove, no problem, answer your question. Write something on Instagram to somebody, DM somebody. Anybody who's good is an open book. I love sharing my knowledge, experiences, my passion, and lessons learned, and that's why I do this, right? So the number one thing is, for me, is my ability to pay it forward to the next, young group of strength entrepreneurs and the people I train, right? My clients, right? I have such an amazing ability to change people's lives in a very short period of time. Let's just take something like my gym. We basically toe the line between sports performance training and adult fitness, right? And in our sport, let's just say you're a college athlete, and you come home for a 8, 10, 12 week summer training program, and you come in good shape and relatively strong, and you come out in phenomenal shape and really strong and fit and fast and ready to go, right? That change your life. You get on the field, you get a scholarship, right? That can change your life. On the same respect, on the adult fitness side, you come in, a 45-year-old guy who's been riding the desk for 20 years and hasn't seen the inside of a gym, since college, and you got that big old beer belly and stuff like that, and your sleep's a mess and your stress is a mess, right? And we help you get all those things straight. You lose 30 pounds, you get your fitness jump started again, you get in this great habit of routine, you become a role model to your kids, your family, and all of a sudden those changes start to swirl around your whole family, and it has this amazing impact, right? And then now, with the business consulting, I could go down a list of several dozen, gym owners that we've worked with personally who were literally about to close the doors. They're like, I'm done. I can't take it. I'm going to go back to corporate. I'm going to go find another career. I'm going to go work at another gym. I hate this. I'm running around rampant. I got no time. I have no life. I'm making no money, right? And I'm like, wait, give me 6 months, right? Let me look at what you're doing, and let's clean some shit up. Let's get a couple good marketing initiatives on the plane. Let's look at your back end. Let's look at your vision. What do you have planned? And they make their first $100,000, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. So if you're a coach and you own a gym, first and foremost is people, right? And think about that impact that you can create for people and how you can help people and help change people's lives. if you change people's lives, the likelihood of them being clients for a long time is pretty damn strong.